Welcome back to the channel. So we've got another review here, and I thought I'd bring to light this one that I've just picked up because this was unknown to me. A chap in the club mentioned about this release. I've been looking for the Italeri duck for a long time. Long time, about 2 years. Haven't managed to pick it up at any shows, haven't seen it on eBay for a reasonable price, and he sent me a link to this one, and I never knew Airfix packaged this one, but they did. So here it is. This is an Italeri duck. Of course, it wasn't coming up when I was searching for Italeri duck, but as soon as I searched for 135th duck, here it came up. Now, this is the original release, and this did get re-released as the Royal Navy, British Royal Army version, and it's got some extensions to the sprue, and it caters for a few things that are missing, but that's not in this kit. However, I'm hoping to source those pieces if I'm lucky, because I think I know a chap who's actually building one of these from that boxing, but he's not using those extra bits. So what this kit is actually missing is the wheel covers, which are seen on pretty much every duck that you see in the photos and all the rest of it, and a couple other bits. There's a couple other interesting bits on the Royal Navy version. Sorry, British Royal Army. There isn't a British Royal Army, that's why it keeps confusing me, but that's what Italeri have called it. So let's get everything out of the box. It's quite a while ago. I don't know if there is a date on this one. This looks about sort of 2010 to me, but there's no date anywhere. I don't think they put dates on, because obviously if you put a date on, you're dating your kit, which doesn't look good in the future. We can tell pretty easily by the decals, which are not cartographed. Now, I think we'll be okay to sort out these bits where we can cut around the carrier film. They should go on okay, but this star, I might actually cut that out myself with stencils on the stencil cutter that I have. But more on that later. This is a British one, which is what I wanted, so that's the other good thing about this release. This gives you markings for a British duck, which is the one I wanted to do. Of course, the original Italeri doesn't give you one, but the Repop British Royal Army one does give you a post-war British one. So that's good. So let's have a look at the decals. Now, I think some people sort of would view this as being quite rare, but I'm not too worried about that myself. You can see the parts breakdown. Interesting spelling of sprue here from Airfix. I would think there should be an E on the end there. So we've really got the upper and lower part of the whole sides with the smaller bits all catered for in the middle there, and then we've got the wheels, suspension, and a few other little bits. Simple layout for the instructions, as you can see, going around here, all over. Usual sort of construction, how you'd expect it to go together. It's quite an old kit, sort of 2001-2 kind of era. We've got the sides going on to the lower hull, and then we've got the suspension units going on, and all around here with the propeller blades. And then we go around here and we get the top onto the lower section. Then we've got the bumpers going around as well, so for the like the water, can't think what they're called, to stop boats knocking into each other. And that brings us to a close. And then we've got the marking option, so for one single vehicle, and this is the Royal Army Service Corps, British Army Operation Overlord, Normandy, France, June 44. So it's a D-Day one, which is ideal. And that brings us to a close on that front. So if we actually have a look at the sprues. Now, this is a kit that I sort of was always around when I was growing up into modelling, because I started around sort of 2001, looking at 135th armour, that is. So I used to get, I still do occasionally, the Tamiya Model Magazine. I had a subscription for a long time, and I know I saw Marcus do a build on that one. Marcus Nichols, the editor, build on this when it came out, which was very nice. I've got that articles somewhere stashed away, so there's little things like that, quite a lot of my history. Bit of warp there, I think we'll pull that out, that will pull out. For things like, if you ever come across things like this, you sort of, this isn't, you couldn't go back to Airfix now, this was a repop of an Italeri kit a long time ago. So if you want to sort this out, the best way to do it, especially when you're gluing it to something like this, which is rigid, when you get to the warp bit, you just start, I would start with super glue. Do points here, so sort of there, 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 and there. So it's pulled in and tight, and the correct shape, and it holds it, and then use your sort of plastic glue to then glue it overnight, if you like. And then when you get the upper deck on as well, that should push this bit out, and you'll be back to where it is. It's no great alarm. It's obviously not ideal. We could do without having this kind of warp here. It's quite bad, as you can see there. It needs to sort of come back like that. But it's thin enough, and it'll be sorted. So we got pretty good detail. It's typical Italeri. We got raised instrument bezels, as you can see. Now, one unfortunate thing is it seems as though the Archer Fine instrument decals and placards is now no longer available. So if anyone knows of a place where I could grab those, if you could let me know, I'd be very grateful, because I would like to have those, because there's quite a lot of placards that need to go around the not cockpit, what would we call it, the interior. So I would like to get hold of them if I can, but they're long out of production, it seems. So if anyone knows of a source of those, I'd be very grateful if you could put in the comments down below. So overall, you know, it's typical stuff. It's Italeri 2000 to 2005 era. There's plenty of detail there. If you want to improve it, you can. There is an Edward etch set that I'll probably grab to go with this, just to help improve some of the parts. But I wouldn't worry too much. The sort of light guards, things like that. There'd be a bit of scratch building going into this as well, I think. But overall, I think if we keep things simple, shouldn't be a problem. So that's that sprue. Then we've got the lower and upper sections. You can see it's quite a beast. It's a nice, solid bit of moulding, this. As you can see, it's very, very solid. Lots of plastic there to keep it rigid, top and bottom. So that will firm up any weaknesses you've got on the very thin sides. You can see the ridges there and everything is exactly how you want it. All the different panels here, they look absolutely fine to me. Good bit of weathering in there, or maybe put a load in the back. Always looks good when you've got that going on. And then looking around the front here as well, you've got nice raised rivets all along the edge here. Now I know on the Building Tamiya Model magazine I was mentioning, he actually had to sand those off because the fit wasn't very good. So to get the fit sorted, he glued it down, sanded them off, and then put them back on. Now I'm going to try and see if I can't actually keep that together, but we'll see. I wouldn't really want to put all them back on after sanding them off. Let's see if we can actually get in there and show you. There you go. See how close they are? I don't really want to be getting up to that. So if we can preserve them, we will. Then the last sprue, this is probably the main criticism of the kit, is the wheels. But that is why, let's have a look if I can show you. That's why I'm hoping to get these wheel covers, because you see about, oh, hang on, that's not quite right. Let's see if I can do it this way. You see about that. Hang on. Well, obviously you can see where the guard goes. The guard would carry this line on, so you will see less than half the wheel. So I think that would be a good way of getting around that, because the bolt detail is a little bit sparse. If we have a look, I mean, it's okay, but there is a lot more detail on the tyres. They're two-part, but I don't think that's a problem with the tread pattern they've got. That's okay. Again, the bumpers here, I know that's not what they'll have a nautical name, I'm certain of it, but they look fine to me. Good bit of rope detail. It's always the thing with Italeri, it's pretty good. Always has been. Even the old kits from sort of like the late 70s. The detail was pretty good for what it was and what it is. They are falling a little bit behind now in sort of modern technology, I would suggest, but nevertheless, they do some very nice subjects. So there we go, that's that part. A few bits off the sprue, but we won't worry about that. So there we are, that's a quick overview of the GMC DUK 353 from Airfix, which is the Italeri kit, the original kit. I'll put a link below to Italeri's website, which shows a couple of the new sprues I was talking about. When I say new, they've put extra bits on the side of the upper and lower hull, which has got the wheel arch covers on them. And then there's another sprue which has a cover, a canvas cover for the back and a few other extra bits, and that's in the newer boxings, and I would imagine from now on that will be the sprues that you'll get. If you're looking for this one, this might be a way around it. I was never looking for Airfix, so I was pretty happy to get this, and it's just under the £30 mark, which is about right. If you can get the other boxing, the Royal British Army boxing, which has got a white one on the front, that does give you all the extra bits, but at the minute that seems quite expensive from what I've seen floating around the internet. But I'm certain there's going to be a re-release before too long. It's looking a bit long in the tooth since the last time they did it, so I wouldn't be surprised if one was to come out pretty soon. So if it does, that will be of interest. But there we are. This is a model I've always wanted to do, and it continues a sort of British armour that I'm trying to build up, have been over the last couple of years for my own personal collection. I know it's American, but you know, Lend-Lease and all that. So there we are. Let me know your thoughts down below if you've tried to get one and struggled, or you got one in the stash, or you know of a place where those Archer Fine Transfers placards can be sourced for a chap like me. I'd be very much interested in getting those. So as always, thanks for watching, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.